você que não está fazendo as coisas certas. Não é possível. I'm telling you.
Nada.
Não é possível. Não é possível.
Mr. Williams, I'm telling you,
Oh, man.
is easier than
It doesn't matter.
from me, from USA.
Okay, we record
Yeah.
this after we finish. You just send me this, okay? You can send this
Okay.
material on WhatsApp. Then I'll put it on AEUSA Instagram. That's the only way.
Okay. But there is
All right.
people coming.
Yeah, people will come in, but we record it. We'll put it everywhere on our platform. We'll put it in YouTube. We'll put it everywhere.
Okay, sure.
We have to put it. It
I
doesn't
miss
matter.
you, man.
I miss you.
You must come back to Mapalala again, man. Mapalala is waiting.
I
There's
miss
a
Mapalala.
museum there.
I know I saw you in Mapalala. I miss Mapalala so much, man. But I want you to come and play here at African Team Award. That's what I want you to do. Is come and play here. At least this year, if not this year, next year, you gotta come and play here, man. People will love it here. All right. So, oh man, just to ask you, Stewart, I know you. I find out today when you sent me the biography that you are the musician of Mozambique with more collaborations. You knew that, right?
Hey.
Yeah.
Are you there? Yeah.
I'm here. I'm listening. I'm here. Did you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can you repeat it again, please?
I said I found out that you are the Mozambican musician with more collaborations. Collaboration, com mais colaborações. You know?
I never realized that.
Yeah, I counted today.
As you talking about it, I realized that I have a lot of collaborations.
Yeah.
I mean, studio collaborations and concert collaborations, So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I must be one, maybe not the one, but one of the most.
No, you are.
Yeah.
You are. No. I counted the collaboration and I check out like the other musicians in Mozambique. You are the musician with the more collaboration. I'm telling you. I mean, tell me another guy who from Mozambique who collaborated with Gilberto Gil, with Luis Represa, with Luku Kwanzaa, with Hugo Masekela, with Sara Tavares, with Oliver Mutukuta, and whoever. It's a lot. It's a long list. Tell me one musician in our country. Nobody. No one.
Amazing. Yeah. Sounds like. Sounds like sweet in my ear.
Yeah. But the other thing that people don't know, like people were asking me here in the States, like, when I told them you started in Berkeley University, School of Music, how was you? I mean, what year was that?
90. So I went to Berkeley in 98.
98. How many years were you there?
I worked at Berkeley for 2 years.
2 years is a long time. That's a long time. And what was what was your best experience there?
Hey man, I mean Berkeley was something that I will never forget. I mean the school itself. I mean the people that I've met. One of the best experiences was to meet my idols. Man, I've met Dave Samuels. I've met Paquito de Rivera. I've met Frank Gambale. All those great musicians that I used to worship. I had a chance to meet all of them at Berklee College of Music. Besides that, I mean, it creates me, all that environment around. And I would go to New York and perform there. I would go to international festivals. I mean, that happen around the United States. I mean, so many things. And I'm telling you, I'm forced to say that I really miss it.
Yeah.
So I miss Boston. I miss United States.
It's cold. Boston's very cold, Stewart.
I think that one of I mean, you guys, maybe you guys heard about Vinx. I mean, Vinx is a great Afro-American musician that I met him. I met like a week after I heard
Yeah.
his CD in a shop,
Yeah.
and I was astonished,
Yeah.
with the sound. That CD was produced by Sting in that time, and a week later, this guy Vince appears in the school for workshop, and
Okay.
I had a chance to meet him, and we became best friends while I was
Oh.
in the United States. And when I was in Mozambique, I invited him to come to Mozambique, and he came, and we did a performance here in Vila Cruz and Beira. It was
Wow.
amazing. United States, I mean, besides, I mean, the school itself gave me another type of discipline, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So that unfortunately is something that us as Mozambican musicians,
Yeah.
we don't have.
Yeah.
We
I
have a
know.
lot of talented musicians here, but there is a lack of discipline,
Yeah. I
you
know.
know,
I know.
in,
You know
in
you're
every
the
way.
first.
That
You're probably the first and only student. I mean, Mozambican that went to that school. I think.
No. I
No.
was the first one. I was
Oh,
the
the
first.
first one. The
But
first
then,
one.
after 2 years, when I came back home,
Uh-huh.
Berkeley, the board of Berkeley College of Music,
Okay.
they offered me a position as an African advisor for the
Uh-huh.
board
Mm-hmm.
of international scholars, and
Okay.
which Richard Bona, Angelique Kidjo, the
Mm.
son of Dave Brubeck,
Yeah.
a couple of Lionel Lueck, a couple of great African musicians are part
Yeah.
of. So
All
I'm part
right.
of that board. And
Yeah.
Mozambique, Maputo, was the
Uh-huh.
first location outside United States and in Africa that they made an audition. So you have this guy called Albino Bier that
Okay.
was selected to go to Berkeley 7
Uh-huh.
years ago, and Bino is one of my products. Actually, Bino is there, and I think there were two more Mozambicans that studied at Berkeley. So there
Oh,
were like
yeah.
four Mozambicans at Berkeley College of Music with the
So
with degrees.
oh man, that's really great. That's really great. Okay, let's go back to your career, because I always tell people that you probably the most concentrated artist, but not only that, but a very humble person. I know your first song, which was one of my favorite songs of all time, Musica Quente, in the 80s when I was growing up.
Como no matar que venda,
Oh,
como
man.
habilidade fraternal. Música quente, música feita por nós.
That song, my friend, for me is the best song ever. Now, I'm writing a book about my brother. My brother passed away. He was 60 years old. This guy, his name is Said, and he ran in the 80s. He used to play in the Zambi. You know what I mean? And he ran to South Africa with the papers. He had a full life in South Africa. I mean, I'm writing this story, which I'm hoping one day will pitch it to a movie here when I go back to California, because it's a really good story. Now, the 80s are very good times. I mean, like, I love the 80s. Tell me, what was it like for you, the 80s, and all the music again, the vibe, like, of Mafalala, of whatever, of Mozambique as a whole? How was it for you?
Well, Ben, I think the best school that I had in my life was the 80s. And actually, in all terms, in terms of let's say about the principles, aesthetics, talking about the music that I used to listen from the United States, even in terms of music around the world, the
Mm-hmm.
80s, was the best time for me in terms of music. Okay, I'm not despised. I mean, about the songs that were created before that or
Yeah,
after that.
yeah.
Of course, there are a lot of songs, great songs that were created before
Mm-hmm.
and after. But
Yeah.
80s was something special. But I mean, it was in other way, it was like a really huge struggle
Uh-huh.
because Mozambique was going through a very difficult moment. I mean,
80s, yes. Yes.
imagine in
Mm-hmm.
the 80s, I mean, the independence of Mozambique was in 75.
Mm-hmm.
Next 10 days was the time for reconstruction. Then there was like the civil war. There was nothing in town. I mean, there was like no strings for guitars. There was no guitars. There was no musical instruments. There were nothing. We had to create everything from the scratch.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, it was like, they were like very difficult times for every one of us. But you know what? I mean, the unity, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
was fantastic. The friendship was like a
The,
true friendship, you know.
the
I mean,
desire to
people,
win as well. Yeah.
exactly, people would embrace, we would embrace ourselves, you know, because I mean, we we had to eat, you know, in the same plate, five people in the same plate, the
I
same
know.
food. You know, it was
Been there.
beautiful. I mean, I'm telling you, for me, the 80s was like the best school ever I ever
Yes.
had in my
Wow.
life. You know,
Wow.
so and it was actually the construction of my personality and my character as well. You know, was I mean, it was living in that time. You know, when you where we had to make, you know, cakes out of nothing. You know, you know what
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
dude.
Those time,
You
yeah.
know, so
Okay, the other thing I learned today when I was reading your biography, I didn't know you acted in a movie called The Lucky Special. I didn't know that. I've never seen this movie. I mean, where is this movie? I gotta watch this movie. You acted on that movie?
man, I mean, I was doing a cameo, a
Oh,
cameo
you did a
part. I mean,
cameo.
it was
Okay.
like doing myself, doing Stewart Sukuma, a
Of
musician from
course.
Mozambique.
Of
So I like
course.
a small part, you know. But I'm very proud for what I did, man. I mean, I don't know how can I send you the video because I have two copies. I should be able to send you one of the copies for you. I don't
Please.
think I don't think the movie is on
Yeah.
the is online. I mean, they
Okay.
still I think they or maybe they didn't put still, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll try to send you so you can watch the movie. I have a small part, like 4 or 5 minutes of the movie. Oh, well, it was great, you know.
I mean,
So
yeah, I mean, it's a very good experience. Another thing I know is that you were worked with the Michael Mann movie Ali with Will Smith. You worked on that, right? As well.
yes, I did work for 6 months, man. The entire time that Will Smith, you know, and then the other guys. I mean, where we are filming, you know, John Voight. I
Yeah,
got to meet Will Smith, John
yeah.
Voight, Jimmy Foxx,
Wow.
Barry Schubacher, you know, all these Michael T. Williamson. I mean, all
Yeah.
those guys, you know. And the funny thing, you know, so you know that I'm involved in the AIDS social awareness,
Yes.
and I was
Yes.
doing like a social awareness for the National Council of HIV/AIDS,
Okay.
and so I created this small program called 30 Seconds to Save a Life.
Wow.
You know, so
Wow.
in 30 seconds, each of the artists that were part of Ali, they
Yeah.
should say something
Okay.
valuable for the youngsters. You know,
All right.
and it was beautiful. I mean, seeing John Boy, Jimmy Foxx, all these
Uh-huh.
guys, you know, living the messages for Mozambicans, you know,
Yeah.
and I would put just the people would recognize them. So I would put like a part of one of the famous movies that they did before. You know, it was
Okay.
amazing, man. Yeah, it was a
All right.
really, really
Now,
good experience. I always loved, you know, the to watch the behind the scenes. You know what
yeah.
happens behind the camera, because I
Definitely.
mean it's beautiful when you sit in your couch and
Yeah.
you watch a movie. But
Yeah.
what happened
Yeah.
before the
Yeah.
movie is added?
Yeah.
What is the most interesting thing to watch, man?
All right. All right. Now, the other thing I wanna ask you is to come back to your band and Banda Kuvu, because I think this is one of the best bands I've ever watched myself playing. You know, we got a lot of great bands in Mozambique. We got a lot of instrumental musicians in Mozambique, the best we have. But Kuvu, how did you come about creating this band?
I mean, before the band, it was the CD, the album,
The Kuvu,
because I
yes,
mean
the album.
the band's name comes from the name of the CD that I was producing in 2007, and
Uh-huh.
then you know I created the band, you know, under the name of Nkubu, which means
Kuvu
celebration. So
celebration.
and that
Yeah.
band was that band was created with that mood to celebrate the Mozambican music from the you know that I mean if you look to the history of the Mozambican music, all music is related to something in life.
True.
Like you have music for a birth.
Yeah.
You have a music when you are building a hut. You have a music for if you're pushing something heavy. You
Yeah.
have a music
Yeah.
for the dead. You have
Yeah.
a music for every moment in the in life, man.
A
So
wedding.
Africa is like that. And exactly. And in Kuvu is exactly the first song that you listen is the song that the traditional song that we sing when somebody is born,
Oh
which is
yeah.
really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, so Nkuvu, and let me tell you, it might sound a little bit weird for a musician to say, okay, I have this song that is my favorite,
Yeah.
but Nkuvu is definitely my favorite album out of all, all, all,
Wow.
all the albums that I did. It's a
I
very
like it.
special album,
Yeah.
yeah, because of not only because of what I did, but for everybody who participated
On the album.
on that work, like Artur
Yeah.
Maia, the great Brazilian bass player, Olo Kwakanza, Obonga,
I
great
got it.
musicians, man.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now,
But,
I know from all you've done also television, and you surprised me when I saw you first time on television. I'm like, oh, Stewart doing television now. But one program that I really liked was Chopella. Chopella Mozambique was one program that showed, forecasted a lot of Mozambique. I love that, the concept of that show. What was it like for you to be on that show?
well, I mean, discovering Mozambique or promoting Mozambique inside and outside is one of my missions.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, this I was born to do that.
Yeah.
And I swear to you that since I came into the music, that I said, okay, I have to do something like knowing Mozambique and show to the world what is Mozambique like.
Exactly.
Concerned about whatever news that came from out, saying that there was like poverty, war, starvation,
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff. I mean, Mozambique was getting everybody get to know Mozambique out of those words,
Yeah, the real Mozambique. The
which I
real.
didn't agree. So I wanted to show the beautifulness of Mozambique. So I decided
Exactly.
to do that, to
Exactly.
write, because I won. Actually, I won the rights of that program. I wrote it, so I am part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of the script and part of the team who made the story,
We
and
should
the things. Working.
we should get the program and sell it to Netflix and translate it and sell
Sorry.
it to Netflix. We should get that program, Chopella Mozambique, and sell it to Netflix.
You know what? I think. Do you think it would work?
It could work. We just have to translate. Come on. And listen, there's a lot of media companies who will buy anything today because there's a lot of competition in the States today. There's Netflix, there's Apple streaming, there's Google. There's a lot of streaming companies here, so they're all looking for content. So I'm sure we can do something about it. We can try to sell it.
Do
Do
you want to be my agent there and try to propose to them?
Oh yeah,
Would you
yeah.
propose to them that?
Of course, I can do it. I can do it for you, man. Stewart, I'll do anything for you, man. You're my man.
You could at least show. You could at least show to them what is. I mean,
Yeah.
a couple of programs. I mean, we did 26 Destinies actually.
I remember. I watched all of those episodes. I remember those episodes. The show was good. The vibe was good. You were good with it. I mean, you were showing something you like to show.
But
So it came out very
you
good.
know why, Duke?
Yeah.
You know why? Because I was naturally. I wasn't acting.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't act in that program from 1 minute. I was myself. I was doing I was doing myself.
Yeah. Okay.
It was very natural.
Let's come back to music, and let's come back to music today in Mozambique. There's a lot of revolution happening, a lot of hip hop music, a lot of traditional music. There's a lot of urban music. There's a lot of kinds of music in Mozambique. Do you think that Mozambicans today, they are consuming Mozambican music the way they should? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I understand, and I'm thinking because it's a very trick question, you know.
You
So,
know why I'm asking that,
I think
Stuart? You know why I'm asking that, Stuart? Because like in 2006, I used to work for MultiChoice, and I was the director of the Portuguese channels at MultiChoice. I used to travel almost every 2 weeks to Angola for almost a year, and I tell you what, not once I heard a song of Mozambique in an Angolan radio.
that's what I'm trying to say to everyone here, you know, Duke. That's what I'm trying to say. Look, I've been traveling all over the world: Portugal, Angola, Cabo Verde, you know, South Africa, everywhere, United States, you know, and each of each one of those countries, you know, they play their music. I'm not saying that we don't play music from
Outside.
other countries,
Yes.
you know, from outside. But I mean, you know, we should respect more what we do in Mozambique.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, there is other thing. I mean, we should respect more what we do in Mozambique, and we should balance in terms of quality, genre, genre of music,
Mm-hmm.
okay, type of music,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So should be balanced. And I mean, it is not. It's unfair the way that the TV stations and the radios they treat the Mozambican music.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
you
it should be more.
so in your way, you think the consumer, which is are the people, they are influenced by the media, or you think us as Mozambicans, we like to listen to other people's music? Which one do you think
I
balance
think
is
it's a
heavier?
combination. Yeah, I think it's a combination of both,
Of
Duke.
course.
I
Okay.
think it's a combination of both. I
All right.
wouldn't I wouldn't decline one or another one because I mean it's a combination. I think both sides, you know, you have people who love to listen to Mozambican music because Mozambique was always open from outside music, you know,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and to listen. And there is nothing bad to listen. There is nothing wrong with listening to other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned from the greatest American musicians, from Portuguese musicians,
Exactly.
from musicians
Exactly.
from everywhere, from
Uh-huh.
Germany, you know, from classic music, from traditional music, from Mozambique and from overseas, you know. And there is nothing wrong with that. But you
Do,
know,
do,
I mean, your country is your country, man, and you have to
yeah.
defend your country. You have to defend the colors of your flag, man. And
Do you
one
think
of
it's
the
gonna?
ways to defend it,
Do you think it's gonna
and
change soon?
now I don't think that's gonna change soon because it's gonna change with mentality, and mentality is one of the most difficult things to change in a person. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the mentality comes with generations. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
it takes 1 or 2 generations, but it only changes only or also if you work
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't do anything, if you don't move, you know, the everything will still the same.
Okay. All
You
right.
know, so
So
you have to do something very serious. I mean, talking serious about Mozambique, we still don't have like uh, um, um, an entertainment industry. You know,
we do
you
not.
cannot talk
Yeah.
about that
Yeah.
in Mozambique.
Yeah.
It's not real, man. There are
But
people singing, there are concerts, there are a lot of culture, you know, lots
yeah.
of culture. The culture is beautiful, it's strong, man.
Yeah.
People show in the face
Hmm.
when they walk, when they dress, you know. But I mean,
Yeah.
still, man, still, I mean, you're not selling it.
I know. I know.
You know,
That
there is no
we
industry.
got we
I mean,
gotta
there
make.
is no comparison, you know.
Yeah, we gotta make that's another thing that I think we should tackle. But that comes with business mind because it both you gotta have both. You gotta have the political side of it and the private sector as well, helping each other to boost that. But what I see that's happening in Mozambique, even the concert, like I see like 2 weeks before the concert, people are selling tickets, and they still sell tickets on the door. Like it doesn't happen here. People here, I mean, like you sell tickets in 10 minutes, and then they're gone. The concert is fully booked. You know what I mean? So I think it's both mentality. I think the political side of it, and also Stuart, the private sector has to help, and also knowledge. I think knowledge is very important in business. You know, for an industry to build up itself. Okay, but okay. let's forget about that. Let's go to another subject because I can speak with you the whole day.
It's gonna take time. You know what? Today, let me talk, Duke. Let me tell you something. Today, I went to the USA Africa Summit in Maputo. It's happening for the next 4 days.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah,
it's a business. It's a business summit. Okay. I hope this summit also focus their attention on the entertainment industry, and on creative industry. So we need like a reform. We need a reform on that industry. We need someone who can put a lot of money for education, okay, and to make everyone in that industry professional. So we need. You cannot do that without an investment. Everything. So, but it has to be like a really serious investment and huge investment. Now, it's just it's just something that I would like to say, and so people can think about that.
Be aware of it.
Maybe in the next 5 and 10 years, we can change a couple of things.
Yeah, it starts with education, Stewart. We need to build schools, music schools. We need to start with education. You can only have one little school down in Pulana, a little school, and expect the whole Mozambique to have quality musicians. It doesn't happen that way. You gotta have university. You gotta have schools that teach people how to play, how to sing, how to write, how to develop the business of music. It takes a lot more than what we have in Mozambique. I totally agree with you. Now, you collaborated with a lot of people, all right? Just tell me one collaboration that you think was the one that really marks you. For me, I will say Gilberto Gil, but for you, which one is the best? I'm not the best, but the one that marks you.
You are putting me in a very weird position, man. This is a bad position. Bad of you, man. You're a bad guy. So, those guys, they will listen and they say, Stewart didn't choose me.
Oh, no.
But you know what?
Okay.
In the 80s, let's talk about 80s. So I'll tell you who was one of the most important collaborations for me.
Who was that?
Paulinho da Costa. Paulinho da Costa.
I gotta Google that. I don't know. I'm gonna write it down.
You got it. Go and search. Go to Google and search Paulinho da Costa.
Yeah, I gotta.
This guy is a Brazilian percussion player. That guy is a Brazilian percussion player. He is now on his 70s.
Wow.
70s. Yeah. Now, he's one of the greatest. He played with everyone, with Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, Madonna.
Wow.
Lionel Rich, all the greatest, and he was my guest in one concert that I did in São Paulo.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. This guy, so I ended up being in the same stage with this great musician. Pauline. I love Pauline.
Right.
And then there are a lot of guys that I really love to collaborate with. Lee Ritenour. Lee Ritenour was one of them. Ivan Lins.
Yeah. Wow.
Of course, Gilberto Gil is one of my favorites.
Of course.
Luis Represas in Portugal. Loco is a great team, man. Who sings like that guy, man?
Loco Akanza. I love Loco Akanza, man. Come say hi to Stewart here. Come say hi to Stewart. I love Loco Akanza. This guy, say hi to Stewart Sukuma. This guy. One of my homies.
Who's that guy?
Say hi. He's a guy from Haitian. He's one of the biggest musicians in Mozambique.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what's up, brother? What's up, brother? Respect.
Okay, so listen, Stewart, I don't know, here in America, biggest musician, biggest actors, we all see them, they have this privilege of having them their names on a wall, for instance, in California, or the street roads and whatever. For me, you are like an icon of Mozambican music. How do you see the future for you? Do you think maybe we'll have a road, a street, Stewart Sukuma, something like that in our country?
Duke, I have no expectations I have no expectations for those kind of things, you know. I just expected, I mean, the society, the people treat us like equals, you know. I see that future. I mean, I don't think that a street with my name will change a lot in the people's consciousness, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you ask me what I would like to see in the future,
Yeah.
I wouldn't choose myself as a point of the reference. I would choose, I mean, all the actors that, you know, and all the actors that that lived intensely, you know, the music, and the new generation could at least, you know, get something positive from what we did, you know. So that's what I expect. You know, I think that I would love that that the tributes and recognition from everyone would come when I'm still alive. You know,
Definitely.
That I would be very happy to, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I have no expectations, you know, of that. I just wanna reach whatever goals I have right now, which is to get the music industry working, and everybody gets what they have, what they should have, you know. So that's what I want. Yeah, as simple as that.
All right, Stewart, are you working towards that though? Towards that?
No, definitely, every single day, Duke. If you see what I write on my page, all the awareness that I do for social projects and everything. So that's my life. That's me. You know, there is not two Stewart Sukuma. So there is one Stewart Sukuma. Stewart Sukuma, there is, you know, out of the stage, in the stage, is the same guy. You know, so
I know.
there is no acting here. You know, so everything that comes through, I mean, that's it. This is it, you know.
That what makes me so like today I was telling my wife I want to go talk to Stewart, because it's one of the guys that when I talk to him I feel like he brings the best out of me, because I mean, like, he's real, you know. He's not a guy he's just talking here because of cameras and whatever, you know. He's real, you know. So it's pleasurable to talk to Stewart, man. I mean, like, I've spoken to you so many times, but every time I speak to you, it's just an emotion that comes on me. I love talking to you, Stewart, man. It was a real great pleasure, man. Pleasure to talk to you, man. I hope I'm going to talk to you more in future, and I hope I'll be able to bring you here to perform for the African Entertainment Award. You know, it happens on October 19th.
Let's do it, man.
I hope I can do
that. Do it. We should do it. You know, and bring all this, you know, stuff from Mozambique, you know, all this musical flavor and melodies, you know, and all the magic that Mozambique has in terms of the music. Definitely. Yeah. I think the world should listen to us. Definitely. The world must listen to us.
And only that, we got good stories as well that the world we have to share with the world. We got lovely stories from Afalala, from the place you were born. Oh, there's a lot of good stories. We just have to write them.
You know, tell those guys about this.
Oh,
tell those guys about
this. I like that. I only got this. See, my continent. Stewart, it was a pleasure talking to you. Listen, you gotta record this, okay? Just put the record button when you come out of this. Just put save, and you gotta send it to me so I can put it live as well on the AA USA page. All right?
So I hope I don't do shit, man. You don't get nothing.
Oh man, don't do that.
then I got to talk to you again. So we repeat this interview, for next time. Hey, dude, it was very nice talking to you, man. You know,
nice, man.
Yeah, and I wish you all the luck, man. I think you deserve. I think you deserve. So you deserve. I mean, whatever you are getting, because you worked hard for that. You pursue your dreams. You know, you pursue your goals. I mean, which is beautiful. I think people should listen to you. People should learn from you. You know, you should pass whatever you learn. You know, in Mozambique, in South Africa, in the United States, you know, so people should know more about you. So, and you can count on me in terms of spreading whatever you projects that you are doing out. So I want to say thank you also for everybody who are following this conversation. You know, kisses for everyone, kisses. Okay. Beijos para todos, muitos beijos para todos.
Beijo.